Hi, welcome to my channel, Farm Charm Chic. I'm Emily and I do DIY inspiration on a budget. If you're looking to have a little bit of DIY inspiration in your life, I'd hope that you would consider subscribing. Today, I'm doing a couple of thrift store flips. This is the first item that I got. It's just a little vase that I paid 75 cents for. I had an idea that I've been wanting to try for a while. I've seen a few other people try this out. I'm going to be using a lid from one of the Dollar Tree Tupperwares that were here for Valentine's Day, and also some of these three-dimensional stickers. They're kind of the raised dots that I got at Dollar Tree. So I thought I would put a dot around all of the little scallops on this. I tried the bigger dot first and then decided that I would see what the little one looked like. I didn't love the look of the bigger dot. So they do come in two separate sizes. If you see these, pick them up. There's so many fun things you can do with them. So I decided that I did like the look of the smaller dot. So I just went ahead and started placing them at the very bottom part of each scallop around the entire lid. What we're going to do is we're going to end up painting this. You're not even going to be able to tell that they're stickers. It's just going to look like a little three-dimensional raised rivet or something on the scallops there. It's going to look really good. And then I'm going to age it, and where the raised portion is there, it's going to antique really well. So I'm just showing you here that that's what it came off of, the lid. So I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of E6000 and hot glue. So the E6000 is going to give it that long-term hold. I've never used E6000 on plastic, so I'm hoping this holds up because it's absolutely adorable, but so far so good. So the hot glue gives it like that short-term hold, so it's going to stay right away. So I just place it down, I hold it for a little bit, and then I take it, I'm going to give it a really good couple of coats in some chalk paint, spray paint. You could use any kind, it doesn't have to be chalk paint, but that's just what I chose because I wanted that matte finish. So you can see how good it looks after I get all of the spray paint on it. I just take a little bit of Waverly Elephant color paint in their chalk paint, and I just lightly dry brush on it. I sometimes have a very heavy hand when it comes to dry brushing, so I just really tried to do it as little as I could so I didn't overdo it, because you can always add more, but once you get it on there, it's really hard to take it off. So you can see it go around each of the edges, giving them each kind of that little bit of a, I hate to say dirty look, but that's really what you're doing. So I go around even the top, kind of make it look like it's worn. I just wanted this to look like a piece that's been around a while, maybe like it was galvanized at one time and somebody painted white over it. I don't know, just something. Do you ever make stories up about the pieces that you're doing, or is that just me trying to think what I want it to actually look like in the end? So here you go. Here's what it looks like when it's all finished and styled. I love how this turned out. I love the petite little scallops on there. Those little raised stickers look so cute in my opinion. I'm super happy with how this flip turned out. So for my next flip, I'm going to use this vase that I found. It is very, very heavy and sturdy. It was $6. It was the most expensive item that I bought that day at the thrift store. And you can see how it's got all these little raised details on it. I really like the shape of it. I thought the shape was really good. It kind of reminded me, what I was going for is maybe like a French farmhouse, if that even makes sense. I mean, it doesn't technically look really like something that you would have found, you know, in the early American farmhouse days or anything like that. Certainly nothing that any of the farmhouse stuff that's been passed down to me looked like, but I really did like the shape of it. I thought it was going to look really good. So I just did two really thick, good coats of the Waverly chalk paint just to make sure that it's completely covered. I even go around on the inside lip so that way if you're peeking into it, you don't see that gold color that was on it. And then I'm going to take some sandpaper and really distress this. I wanted it just to kind of be almost like concrete looking by the time I was done, like whitewashed concrete or something. I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you think. This one I wasn't sure about at all. As I was doing it, I kept thinking this is just going to look horrible. I'm actually pretty happy with the way that it turned out. I do want to take just a minute to let you guys know that I am participating in the Thrift Flip Thursday challenge. We were supposed to take an item, $10 or less, and flip it. So from any thrift store, and give it kind of a makeover, make it into something, make it look completely new. It's hosted by Shayna from Robinson Repurposing and Savannah from Savvy Crafts with Savannah. So I'll go ahead and link both of their channels down in my description box, and also check all the videos out on this playlist if you haven't already, or if you're not in the middle of doing that. Go ahead and check out some of the amazing projects that some of these other people have done. So good. So you can see that I'm taking some sandpaper to distress this, and it is so thick and so sturdy. It is literally tearing through. I mean, my sandpaper is just turning to shreds. Probably used about 6 or 7 sheets of sandpaper as I was trying to distress this. Then what I did is I got a baby wipe and dipped it into my elephant colored chalk paint and kind of rubbed it in areas. That way, where the gold was peeking through, it had that elephant color instead of the gold. And I liked the way that this looked as I was doing it, but I really wanted there to be even more distressing, if that makes sense. So I did go through. I mean, you can kind of see how you can see that raised detail start to appear as I rub over it with that. You can really start to see that. What I eventually do is I decide I'm going to dry brush it. I went back and forth trying to decide if I wanted to do that. I'm so happy that I did, though, because it ends up looking really good. But I went into all the little crevices and everything with this baby wipe with the elephant chalk paint on it. Here I've moved on to the brush, and you can't see my plate, but what I do, I use a paper plate to put my plate into, or to dab my brush on. So I'll dip it in the chalk paint, and I'll really kind of wipe most of that paint off and go through and just lightly brush on it. And you can kind of just see the details start to pop as I rub it on here. And I went around this several times for several minutes trying to get it really, really distressed. I don't know. I really was happy with how this turned out. I was so skeptical, but what do you guys think? I am absolutely in love with how this turned out. I'm excited to style it, all sorts of things. I am on Instagram. If you haven't come and found me yet on Instagram, I'm just Farm Charm Chic over there. I would love for you to come and see what I'm posting, my projects, all sorts of fun things like that. I love to meet new Instagram friends. So if you do come find me, make sure you leave me a message and say hi. For my last project, this is my most favorite. I saw this, what I'm assuming was a waste basket. It was $3, and I grabbed it, not even really sure what I was going to do with it. And then as I was driving home, it came to me, and I got so excited. So I took some matte black spray paint, and I made sure that it was matte. I thought that was going to look the best, and just went ahead, sprayed all over it to completely cover up any of the green that you could see. And I have this wooden round that you can buy at Lowe's or Home Depot. They're between like $6 and $10. A lot of times you see YouTubers making round signs out of them. So I had some just, lying around to make signs with at Christmas time, and then I never got around to it. So I decided to use some Minwax stain to stain this round. I had espresso, and I believe the other one, it was some kind of gray that I had. I had the two, and I'll show you here. You can see the difference, the gray on the end and the espresso. I wanted something in between those, so I mixed them together. I'll give you a little bit of a hint, though. If I was to do this over again, I would probably just use my Antique Wax by Waverly. I love the color of that. And it's much more of a caramely color than what I ended up here. The color is fine that I ended up with, but if you don't want to mess around with using stain, definitely just use that wax. I think it would be totally fine. So I just went around the edge with a lint-free cloth. I had just a microfiber cloth. You can see the color. I mean, it did end up being a pretty good color that I got on there. And like I said, I just mixed the espresso and that gray together. So now I had to figure out how I was going to attach my wood top to the basket. So I found these little clamps in the electrical section at Lowe's, and they were super wide, so I kind of just clamped them down a little bit so they would fit over and hold onto and keep sturdy the basket when it was attached. Otherwise the basket would just wobble around. So that's why I had to come and kind of retrofit them, bend them down. And then I went ahead and put my screws into the cardboard. I stuck them up so I could spray paint them really well. And I got these spray painted all black so that way it would blend in with my wire basket. So you can see here, what I do is I place them and I use a little pencil to pinpoint where I want it. And then that's where I know where to go drill my screws into. If you know a better way, or you're watching this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, like I would never have done the hardware like that, you're an idiot for doing that, then good for you. This was all I could think of to do. I mean, it really just racked my brain, and this was the best that I could come up with. So if you have an idea or know something different, let me know down in the comments of how maybe you would fasten it to the wire basket to the wood. So this was the best I could come up with, and it works. So I'm actually pretty happy with it. So you're left with not being able to put the drill inside of the basket. That was something at the time I was like, oh, how am I going to drill these on the inside? So I had to mark all of them, place the hardware down, and go back in and screw them all. You can kind of see here, I just was using my drill to drill them, and then put the basket on and then bend them back over, if that makes sense here. So I'll actually take the clamps now and bend them over the edge, so that way I can drill the outside part of them in. And the hardware looks really good. That matte black looks so good onto the metal. I love it. I just went ahead and screwed around all of the four sides to fix it. I was so excited. Guys, if you look these tables up online, they're like anywhere from $70 up. And I mean, up to like $300 for two of them when you get them. I mean, I was so happy with how this turned out. The wood looks so good. It looks so good on there. You can see I've got it styled right here. I think I might actually want to buy like a really big, like a bigger, like those fig plants or something to put on it. I don't know. I was just so happy with this. Now, I didn't want to be able to put anything on the inside, so I didn't want to mess around with how to figure out how to open and close it. So I just left it where it was just the table like that. But I'm so happy. For $3, I had the wood round, but really between $6 and $10, you could go buy a wood round. It was such a fun flip. So which was your favorite flip? I would love for you guys to leave a note down in the comments and let me know which one of these was your favorite or which one you'd actually try. And then go ahead and finish watching the playlist of all the fun crafters that have done, and DIYers that have done all their fun videos. Okay, if you guys liked what you saw today, I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. Also, if you thought that my flips turned out really good, I would love if you would give this video a thumbs up. That way I know that you like what you're seeing and kind of what I'm doing. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.